The old man pointed fearfully ahead. A monster was gnawing on a human corpse. The two of them quickly closed the car doors in panic. However, the monster seemed to sense something. It slowly began to approach their car. Fortunately, the two of them successfully hid. The monster didn't notice them. However, the monster didn't leave. Instead, it found another corpse and continued to feast. It was clear this couldn't go on like this. The man had no choice but to try starting the engine. Seeing that the monster hadn't noticed them, he slowly began to reverse the car until he was close to the car behind them. He then signaled his wife and child to switch vehicles quickly. But as soon as he opened the door, he was immediately grabbed by the monster. In order to cover their escape, the old man decisively grabbed a bottle of salt and got out of the car. He sprayed the monster with salt frantically. However, this tactic had no effect. It only angered the monster. By the time the old man tried to get back in the car, it was too late. Though the old man's sacrifice bought time for the others to escape, their journey of escape was just beginning, because these terrifying monsters had already taken over the world at this moment. And the culprit behind this disaster was a drilling company that mined underground resources. The story began 15 years ago. The workers at the drilling site were happily working. Suddenly, they noticed something running out of the drill hole. To figure out what kind of creature it was, one of the workers decided to go outside and investigate. However, as soon as he stepped out of the office, he was attacked by a monster. In the end, no one inside survived. As more and more monsters appeared, the entire site was soon overtaken. But the disaster had only just begun, because the countless monsters had burst out of the ground and quickly gathered toward the city. They began to attack the people in the streets mercilessly. In less than a day, the monsters had spread across the globe. Once thriving cities were instantly reduced to ruins. Though various countries quickly launched counterattacks against the monsters, it was useless against the sheer number of monsters. Everyone thought this disaster would be the end of humanity. But to their surprise, 24 hours later, the monsters returned to the depths of the earth on their own. They completely vanished from the human world. Afterward, an investigation revealed that on the day of the drilling accident, there had been a solar eclipse. Thus, it was speculated that this disaster was no simple accident, but a punishment from God. Later, scientists discovered that salt was the monster's kryptonite, capable of making them vanish instantly. But no one knew if, when the next solar eclipse arrived, the disaster would come again. Thus, humanity lived in peace for 15 years, until the next solar eclipse slowly approached. A fearful atmosphere once again began to spread. Strange things began to happen one after another, seemingly signaling that the next day of reckoning was near.